Philip Kennedy Johnson and Marco Finnegan put 007 on a mission for Myrmidon as James teams with Rook to infiltrate Britain's most secure facility to steal some secrets. Philip Kennedy Johnson dives into James's role as an agent for Myrmidon, putting him on his first mission and continuing his journey to find out who killed 003. Johnson really leaned into James's spycraft this issue, having him wear some disguises, charm some women, infiltrate a secret facility and get some important intel. All classic James Bond stuff. Bond working for the enemy and having to possibly kill his own colleagues is interesting, and it's an interesting dynamic, and saddling him with someone like Rook, who is completely against James' whole Queen and Country shtick, is very fun, and I'm looking forward to them inevitably squaring off against each other, because it's gonna happen. The tension for the series so far has been quite fantastic. It's been building up here and there, but here it falters a little thanks to Bond's quick escape from Whitehall. It just felt rather too quick and easy and ended just rather abruptly, just to get to the point where someone is killed in front of him. And it really felt it was done to make sure Bond is in a place where he wouldn't have to hurt his own people, which feels like a missed opportunity and kind of going against what the story is leaning towards, in that he's going to have to hurt his own people to get Myrmidon's trust, so it feels like a real missed opportunity there. Marco Finnegan continues making Bond's adventures look stylish, and I enjoyed the visuals of Bond's spycraft throughout the issues, specifically the beginning stuff with him charming a young woman, most of which was done through very little dialogue and relied on Marco's work to explain what Bond is exactly doing. The series' trend of solid colour backgrounds continues to be a real boon for it, and I love how it draws the eye to the character and their movements and the action. 007 issue 4 took the story into some fun spycraft territory, employing some more classical Bond moves as the story heads into an interesting double agent spying on the spies sort of story arc. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10. 007 issue 4 heads to the rainy steps of MI5, where a young woman without an umbrella races down the rainy street. A car suddenly comes out of nowhere and a man pulls her to safety, only resulting in her getting splashed by the car and not killed. The woman thanks the man as he notices that she's reading George Eliot, not seeing anyone reading that in ages. He offers her his umbrella as they head towards the tube, learning the woman discovered Eliot's work when she was younger, shocking the man, who finds that she is quite a rare one. The two sleep together, and later the man gets up, taking the woman's ID card and scanning it, making a duplicate. The man leaves and meets with Mr. Rook, who thinks it must feel weird for James Bond running a mission on his own people. James gets in the car and removes his disguise, asking if they are just going to walk into Whitehall at this time of night, but Rook knows they aren't going there. James reminds him that Whitehall is the one place that they'll get any intel on Nassar's coup that the UK are supposedly supporting. James tells him where to drive and to drop him with all of the gear he asked for, and Rook can just go home. Rook knows he's not going to be doing that, and he's sticking around with Bond to keep an eye on things, but James refuses to have him within a mile of the real Whitehall. Rook won't take no for an answer, as From wants it to happen, and while they aren't buddies, they're on the same side, so James should just consider this a team building exercise. James says that he doesn't understand Rook since he doesn't give a damn about America, but he's devoted to a corporation. Rook says that Sebastian likes to recruit the broken ones for Myrmidon, high-end soldiers who get used up by the governments they work for and spat out, since to From they are worth it and he made them better, and even someone from the Navy like James should find that a big deal. Rook reveals that his knee, hip and elbow joints were all titanium reinforced and his sensory receptors were turned up to 11, with special nanotech keeping his white blood cell count very high, making him move faster than thought possible. James knows that Brooks went down easy enough, angering Rook, who knows that Myrmidon is the future and Bond is the past, and he believes in From more than he could America. The men arrive at a rundown office building, which Bond reveals is actually a cover for the servers to the GCHQ, and if the British government really are meeting with Nassar, then the details will be on those servers. Rook asks if he's willing to kill, and James isn't, and neither should Rook if he wishes to live out the night. James leaves the car, intending on using his ID card he swiped from the woman earlier to enter the building, but he finds they have added physical security on site as well. James knows he needs a distraction, spotting a derelict on the side of the street whom he pays to throw bottles at the guards and scream at them. James uses the distraction to sneak onto the roof. Rook is concerned that the kids saw their faces and car, but Bond knows that he was too pissed out of his mind to know what he saw and he won't remember anything. Bond cuts his way into the building through a window as Rook asks why Bond is doing this, knowing that it's all because of some hang-up he's got with Gwen, and he thinks that if he picks up where she left off, From will help him look for Gwen's killer. Rook teases that he might even be the killer, as he asks if James thinks this is worth it all, since in the end, Gwen is still dead. James says that Gwen has his respect and reminded him of why he is doing it, or what he should be doing it for. Bypassing some lasers, he gains access to the servers, dropping some smoke pellets to disrupt the motion detectors, but as soon as he lands in the room, the alarms sound. Rook tells him to get out of there, but Bond wants to know if Gwen was right, accessing the computers as security arrive, demanding whomever is in the room to show themselves. Bond surprises them from the darkness, knocking them out as he overhears the guard's radio say that more agents are en route. Bond leaves the building but is caught in the headlights of an arriving agent's car, chasing Bond down the street, but the agent slides under a nearby car. James waits them out under the car and then ditches the black shirt he had on and heads to the car where the drunk kid from before turns up, ranting about gunshots he heard. Suddenly the kid is shot in the head by Rook and Bond points his gun at him, knowing that he should put a bullet in his face since he just killed the boy for nothing. Rook knows that James got him killed by talking to him, demanding the agent get in the car before he has to shoot anyone else. Later on, James shows Rook that he got everything on the Nassar meet. Rook takes the drive from James, telling him that he never trusted Gann and he doesn't trust Bond either, and if Sebastian had listened to him, he would have killed James by now. Rook thinks James got into this by playing both sides, but he just stole government secrets, so even if he wasn't a double agent, he is a traitor now to his country, and he should keep that in mind if he gets any idea to screw with them. At MI6, Moneypenny comes to see M, who wants to know if James was the one who accessed the servers. Eve isn't so sure yet, but whomever did it accessed files involving Nassar's meeting, files on a former US operator Daniel Rook, and the philanthropist Sebastian From, as well as the status of the homicide investigation of Gwendolyn Gann, meaning M now has a trail to follow.